Good morning, Year 11, and welcome to a screencast explaining Task 2 for Module A. Previously in Week 1, you will have already viewed Mrs. Fryer's Screencastify. Hopefully the two screenshots ignite your memory of that Screencastify. She explored the rubric and the expectations of Module A by introducing a simple visual advertisement that would be found on the side of the road for drivers to see and absorb in a brief instinct. In a nutshell, Module A is looking at a diverse array of texts, various possibilities, new technologies, and how these create meaning. We obviously have poems, novels, scripts, TV, radio, but in addition, in our contemporary society, we have film, podcasts, websites, choose-your-own-adventure stories, interactive simulations, and games. The list goes on. I want you to reflect a little. What types of texts engage you? Do you find yourself in a vortex of YouTube videos, TED Talks, or podcasts? Do you love poetry supported by visual artwork and music? In this module, you will have the opportunity to experiment and create. Please find the link to the assessment task on your Lighthouse class page. Please view this at your own pace and collate any questions you have for Thursday's return to face-to-face teaching. You will have the opportunity to discuss this with your classroom teacher. Please clarify. Do not suffer in silence. Understand the task so you can start planning and brainstorming. The more time and energy you put into it, the greater fulfillment, joy, and sense of achievement you will get out of it. So the assessment task for English Year 11 Standard, Module A, Contemporary Possibilities. In this module, students have developed knowledge and understanding of the ways digital technologies provide audiences with a broad range of new texts and diverse reading experiences. Students have explored a variety of multimodal texts and have examined the ways in which narrative has been reimagined in a digital world. Students have developed skills in analysing the forms and features of digital texts and have had opportunities to experiment with composing their own texts using ICT. Hopefully you can see a bridge between the module and this assessment task. We want you to learn from the module, everything that we do together in class, and adapt this into your submission for Task 2. The weighting of this task is 40% of your Year 11 course. It will be due on day 9 of week 8, which is the 18th of June. And the task type is multimodal. You will learn more about this in class, but a multimodal text is a text that includes 2 or more modes. A mode is written, visual, spoken, reading, and audio. So your multimodal submission might include written word with visuals or visuals with sound. It's up to you. Depending on what multimodal text you submit, you may or may not need a transcript. Obviously, if your multimodal submission includes written word, you will not require a transcript. A transcript is simply a written copy of your speech. So if you submit a TED Talk or a podcast or a video, you will be required to upload a transcript along with your multimodal submission. The nature of the task. Reimagined narratives in a digital world. Digital technologies provide audiences with new experiences. Construct your own interactive ICT text to represent a real or imagined local or global social issue in response to the following statement. Through the sharing of stories, we come to understand culture. So, this gives you context, purpose, and audience. The purpose of your submission is to reimagine a narrative. You want to provide your audience with a new experience using an interactive technology. Choose a global or local issue that you are interested in. and represent it to your audience to share a story with them and help them to understand the culture in which you're representing. The table below is designed to give you ideas. You are not limited to these. They are there to prompt and inspire you. First of all, you might like to consider the form. What text type would you like to create? An informative website? An interactive narrative? A persuasive TED Talk? Or an online game? This link here will link you to a variety of resources and websites that you could which you could find useful when creating your assessment task. If you're thinking about creating an alternate pathway narrative, you may use Inkwriter. It's a great resource that allows you to write your narrative and provide you with options for where you take that narrative. If you're thinking about a cartoon or a game, Cartoon Story Maker will be useful. If you're thinking about a video, a TED Talk, a website, or a blog, there are lots of options. Weebly, Wix, Blogster, Google Slides, PowerPoint, Screencastify, Google Sites. If you're thinking about a feature article or a report, an interactive narrative or poem, an essay, Google Doc might be the option for you. If you'd like to do a speech or a podcast, Anchor.fm is a useful website, and ThingLink is great for storytelling and virtual experiences. If you are confident in a tool that is not listed here, and you would like to use that for your assessment task, please feel free to negotiate this with your classroom teacher. If it is a free website and it doesn't breach any privacy policies, we are more than happy to be flexible and to work with you with this. Once you've considered your text type, think about your theme, your topic. Do you want to stick with our concept of refugees and asylum seekers, or go down a different avenue of inequality, climate change, global health, adolescents or children's well-being, cultural conservation, natural disasters, poverty, government accountability? Once you've thought about the themes and the topics you might be interested in, think about the best way to deliver that information and to deliver that message. Would it be best to share that story with an informative website or a TED Talk? To further deepen your investigation, to add substance and depth to your topic, investigate ideas. You could look at the complexities of cultural identity and experiences in relation to refugees and asylum seekers, or adolescents and children well-being. You could look at tension between personal and cultural identity in relation to government accountability. You could look at the challenges of adapting to change. That could be in relation to natural disasters or poverty. Conflict is used to explore distinct features of social groups. Understanding human connection and its importance. Are cultures more or less vibrant when under threat? So again, the table is here to prompt ideas. You are not limited to this. But again, I encourage you to talk to your classroom teacher to ensure that your ideas do meet the expectations of the task. The digital file that you submit must have media content viewable within 2 to 3 minutes. So if you're thinking of a podcast, a video, a TED Talk, or a game, it needs to fall within 2 to 3 minutes in length. If you submit a transcript or a written text, your word count range needs to fall between 800 and 1000. You should approach this task with the intention of experimenting with forms and features, gaining new skills, and developing your understanding of ICT texts. The following links are there for your perusal. I'd encourage you to visit every single link. They are there to inspire you. I promise they will prompt ideas. Online tools to assist your planning. You might use the fishbone structure before structuring your choose your own adventure story. You might use Storyboard That to map out a video or a game. You might use Lucidchart or a mind mapping website to structure your ideas before leaping into a podcast. The online articles and samples are here to inspire you. 7 Digital Deadly Sins are in the wonderful student workbook that Mrs. Pascoe has created. It takes you through a variety of short videos of different people sharing their story on different cultures. The Power of Disruptive Digital Narrative, Pixel Fable, Inequality and NY's Subway, Lagos Wide and Close, Flight Paths. Memento and Pleasantville are trailers for films that are examples of nonlinear texts, so they embed flashbacks and split personalities. Mount Rushmore 360 views, why videos go viral. So again, please do visit each link. You will be marked and assessed on your ability to design a multimodal digital text that communicates a local or global issue. You'll also be assessed on your use of forms, features, and structures to engage an audience. These will be aligned to outcomes 2 and 8, and your marking guidelines are attached here. In order to achieve an A range for this task, you will need to demonstrate skill in the following areas. Skillfully designs a multimodal digital text that provides the audience with an insightful new experience. Represents a real or imagined global or local issue in association with the provided statement. Skillfully explores complex cultural assumptions in text and their effects on meaning. Uses appropriate language forms, features, and structures skillfully to convey the ideas in the text. By now, you'll be confident and familiar with the A to E range scale and the determining terms that decipher the difference between each. So again, A is demonstrating skill. B is demonstrating effectiveness and thorough. C is demonstrating sound and sum. D is demonstrating a limited ability to meet the expectations of the task. Rather than exploring, you might be describing. And E is an elementary attempt or no attempt to meet the expectations of the task in these categories. It may be an elementary attempt to describe a real or imagined issue. You might identify some cultural assumptions. You might use elementary language forms and features. If you're unsure about any of these criteria dot points, please discuss them with your classroom teacher. This is your checklist, and this is how we mark you. So if there's anything on this page that you're not sure about, please clarify. Just quickly, I'd like to revisit my slide and just summarize this task. So in summary, step 1, choose a topic, a real or imagined topic that you're interested in, that you're passionate about. It must prove the statement, through sharing of stories, we come to understand culture. Step 2, choose a text type that will best deliver your ideas on your topic. A website, a blog, a podcast, a video, choose your own adventure, a game. 3, ensure it goes for 2 to 3 minutes or has a word count of 800 to 1000. And finally, remember your rubric. This assessment task is designed to show your gained knowledge and understanding of Module A. Everything you learn in class should be represented in this assessment task. You must submit a multimodal submission. In regards to the rubric, you could also use multimedia as an option. You might embed links into your multimodal assessment task that take you to other sources and websites. It could have hashtags. You could have advertisements for your text that you've created. And you may choose to do a linear or a non-linear text. So again, you can start at the start and end at the end in a chronological order, or you might choose to do flashbacks or alternate pathways. So obviously, a choose your own adventure narrative, a game give you those options. I hope this has been a helpful screencast for task 2, and again you will have the opportunity to clarify and ask questions on Thursday when you return to your lessons with your classroom teacher. Again, feel free to email me. I'm more than happy to answer your questions and clarify anything that needs clarifying. Thank you.